Showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor.
Little.
Okay, man. All right. All right, folks. All right. We are here for another show. This weekend. This week, my bad. How's everybody been? How's everybody been? I hope everything was glorious, fantastic, superb, and all the other in-betweens that happened, the down points, the low points. As I always say, they're all learning lessons. That's just the experience as human beings, man. It's not just what we want to happen to be a learning experience, it's how we take these situations as they come. That is what makes us different, all right, on how we're going to deal with things. That's the separation between a boss and a worker. That's the separation between a well-rounded individual and someone just trying to learn and step up, which is, I'm not knocking the people just stepping up and trying to learn. But we understand as you get older, it's about the experience, not good or bad, not just good, not just bad, but everything. Yeah, man. Thank you guys for tuning in once again to GCOM Radio. I'm your host, Nova Phoenix, your host on GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio, and we are coming with some information and with some news that's been going on there. There's a lot of things I want to talk about that just gets under my skin, and a lot of things that's been happening that's great to talk about. Hopefully these are conversations that you guys can take up with your family, your friends, or your workers, or whatever, your co-workers. All right, so let's get started, man. I mean, we got some things to go. Okay, it says Black Tag. I just found out about that company. Black Tag, it's a black founded company. It's an online interactive platform that focuses on black content and creativity, and it mixes original videos, short films, blah, 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 blah. So it's like a black version of YouTube and Netflix, all right? So the creators that are on the platform will be able to license their content on Netflix and YouTube. So far it's got about 100 creators on there, and I found out, I think I found this on blackenterprise.com. I think it's super dope. I didn't even read the whole story, but it's two brothers from the continent that came over early, and they're here in America, and they had this beautiful idea they wanted to get started, and it reminds me of Quelly TV. I'm actually signed up to Quelly TV, man. I pay on a monthly basis, and I think it's beautiful, man. Shout out to the founder of Quelly TV, and I want to know her name if nobody knows what Quelly TV is. Founder of Quelly. Because I want to shout her out. TV. Deshuna Spencer. Deshuna Spencer is the owner of Quelly TV, and that's like a black version of Netflix. But now you have these brothers that are coming in with Black Tag. So I encourage you guys to Google it and look it up. I think it's fantastic. You can download the app, Black Tag, and let's see where we could go with this. And it's all about building platforms for people to, especially when it comes to black content creators, to be properly compensated for all the hard work that they do. And I think this is just another avenue to get the bag. You know what I mean? All right. So the next thing, I'd like to give my condolences to the family of Ali Early. I wanted to get his first name, and Ali Early. Let me see here. He passed away, unfortunately. Unfortunately, this brother was the senior editor of Rolling Out. I remember Rolling Out many moons ago. I remember when Rolling Out magazine was not even was a full-fledged magazine. It was like almost like I could say a mini mag, a pamphlet. It didn't have like 50 to 80 pages of the mag. It was probably, I think, tops 20, 15 pages. I liked it because it was black owned. And you could just walk into any store, and that's what I did in Brooklyn or Harlem, whatever, and you saw the rolling out, and he was like, I just like it. I was like, oh, that's super dope, cool. And whenever I saw it, I picked it up because it was free at the time. I picked it up. I'm like, oh, that's dope. And he had plenty of black celebrities featured in Rolling Out. So tons. I mean, you could look it up now. I mean, it's too much to name. He's pretty much had everybody. And I like the fact how he transitioned into the digital age, and they have rollingout.com. He continues to do, the brand continues to grow and build, and they have a faithful following. But unfortunately, and Ali Early passed away. My brother came out of Cali, and he got his degree in mass media from Clark Atlanta University. He moved to Atlanta, of course, and he became a journalist, and he just built his brand from there. And I would love to get the full background on his story because he deserves it. He deserves it. I wish, they didn't really mention what he died from, but it's I like to hand him his flowers now. And it's funny that I consistently go on Rolling Out, but then the thing is, you never know when someone's going to pass away until it happens, because you think, okay, this person's always going to be there. They're fairly young, in your 30s, 40s, at some point, his flowers is going to be given to him, and, he's going to live a long, fruitful life. And then to hear this happen it's unfortunate to me. It's sad. He has a family, 3 kids. And it's just sad to hear this happen to this brother, man. So my condolences to Ali Early. To his family and his friends and all that. And peace, brother. Peace, and Ali Early. Thank you for giving us Rolling Out. And I want to see your brand of what you created continue into the next generation and continue to grow. Thank you for contributing to hip hop, and we miss you. All right, so let's get into the next thing. Raised by Wolves. All right, so every now and then, folks, I give my commentary or my little review on movies. I'm a movie buff. I love movies. Everybody knows this already. I'm a Star Trek fan, Star Wars fan, a lot of other fans, a lot of other properties, right? So when I watch movies, and as much as I've seen over the years, right, I'll do my own critique. I'm not no Grace Randolph. I'm not any others, these other reviewers, but I'm going to throw in my 2 cents on what I think. So Raised by Wolves is a movie that's on HBOMax. It came out. It was created, or at least partly created, by Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott. He's the director of Aliens, and also the director of what's that blue, the blue. I can't remember. But anyway, he done a lot of other stuff. Ridley Scott. So one of his creations here is what do you call it? Raised by Wolves. So I think he directed the first episode of the season. Everybody's really looking forward to it. My bad. So he did Ridley Scott. He did Blade Runner. All right, Thelma and Louise, Gladiator. All those things. He was the producer on these. But as far as director, let me see if I can tap in on his director credits. Come on, show me IMDb. He just got so much works. He just got so much stuff, man. It's crazy. Producer. Really? Get out of here. Oh my God. Really? Let me see. Let me go back for a second, because let me just be more specific. See if this is gonna come up, because I'm like, wait a second, bro. You have all these producer credits, but I know you directed them. Let's see here. Whoa. All right, so it says that he won, of course, Academy Awards, BAFTA Awards, Golden Globes. All right, for, let's see here, House of Gucci, All the Money in the World, The Martian, Prometheus, American Gangster, Black Hawk Down, Gladiator, 1492, Conquest of Paradise, Thelma Louise, Black Rain, Legend, Blade Runner, Alien is one of the most famous ones. Alien directed. See? Directed Alien, of course, I know. So anyway, so he's doing Raised by Wolves, and it's directed by many different talented people, right? And I really was digging the whole vibe of Raised by Wolves. And I made a commentary myself, a review on Raised by Wolves, and I liked it. but then I didn't like it. I liked when it started. It was a little bit slow. It was hard to, to get through towards the end of the second. I wouldn't say second act. It's a series. It started getting kind of sketchy around in the middle towards the end. All right. So yeah. So I didn't like how they did. I liked the overall story. I didn't like certain ways how they played the character. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. So you had the folks that the soul people, and it's basically kind of like a play on atheists and the faithful, right? So some people created these these androids, and these androids take a bunch of kids and they fly to this planet because there's this huge war, and somehow they're supposed to create the continuation of these people with the kids, and they got these two androids, mother and father, to raise these kids on this this planet. All right, so they're super strong, of course. They have all these skills. Mother happens to be, she's super strong, not just super strong, but she's kind of like a battle droid, almost. Like she kind of transforms into this next version of herself, and she can scream and blow people up, and they liquefy blood, and it's like she flies through the air. She's very powerful, very powerful. Father, he's just a dude. He's an android. He's supposed to have super strength, but whatever. So I didn't like how they did Father. I think it was cool, and then it turned into an artsy-fartsy piece. But all through Father, I don't understand where this guy Father was coming from. The writers did absolutely nothing for this guy. I mean, to me, this dude was at best a clumsy plot device that moved the story along for specifically the children. And I'm like, okay, so this guy is for Wu-Tang for the kids, right? Yeah, the same thing with Father. He for the kids. So the story moved along, and I just hated it. And then towards the end, she birthed this freaking, I don't know, some freaking worm with teeth. It got real artsy-fartsy, and they went through the planet. It was crazy, folks. So I encourage you guys to see it, whatever. So they said they're going to come out with a part 2. So finally they got season 2, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even want to see it. Then I was watching Grace Randolph. She did a review. She loved it. Okay, so she loved it, right? So I'm like, all right, so I'll check out this joint. I'll check it out. I'll look at it, knowing the fact that they did my man Father dirty. Father is played by, let me see. Raised by Wolves cast. All right. Father is played by Abu Bakar Salim. All right. Good brother. He's a pretty good actor, man. Big ups to Abu Bakar Salim. Love the name. So, yeah, they did him dirty in all types of ways. So, I mean, I reviewed it, and I'm telling you my thing or whatever. It's just in case you can't find this thing, right? So he wasn't really a warrior protecting anyone. He was just with, they crash land. He's rolling out with mother and father out the spaceship, and now they got to create this camp, and this camp for the children. Build homes or build houses, structures, whatever, to give a space for the kids. Find something to eat, yada yada yada. So mother, as I explained, she was badass. She didn't really need no protection. So but I liked it though. I liked how she transformed. I thought that was super dope. But I also knew, she was just another class model of android, and Father was there for another purpose, which is all good. It's fine. I dug how they played that out. But as it played the episodes, I was just confused with Father's purpose. And I was totally questioning Father's purpose, and then it got so bad. The writers wrote into the series that even Father was questioning his purpose when he was comparing himself to Mother. So they even put that into the story. I'm like, okay, all right. He's unsure where he is, and he's not sure of how Mother sees him and what role he plays, and he's supposed to protect the damn kids, right? At the very least. So she goes off, Mother goes off, flying off, trying to investigate the planet. She basically told him, to watch the kids, right? This dude was so useless, he couldn't even watch the kids, how it played out in the story. This dude was a bumbling idiot. He was a bumbling, straight up bumbling idiot. So I'm like, all right, cool. But even before that kind of settled in, so I was like, all right, so maybe I'm waiting because I'm patient. How is this gonna play out? So then, of course, Mother goes on her little investigation. She finds a crash landed ship, and there's this I guess this coffin or something like that, where the people sit in, and the androids can sit in, and they can plug in, and they can figure out the data of the ship. So she goes and plugs herself into the ship, and she has this digital dream of the founder, or the creator of the androids, right? So then she has this thing, having this conversation. So I'm like, okay, cool. Now, pause there. So I was figuring, okay, maybe Father has, you assume that because he's the male, that maybe, I was just speculating at the time, maybe they have android babies, right? Him and her get together or whatever, right? As they take care of these human children, and this miraculous thing happens. That doesn't happen, all right? So she plugs herself into this, the coffin thing, right? She plugs in. She has this dream of the founder, the digital founder, and they have this virtual intercourse and everything. So I'm like, okay. And based on that, she becomes pregnant. I guess something initiated in her programming, and she becomes pregnant. So the idea that Father is going to somehow procreate with Mother, and okay, that's his purpose. Nope, you can scratch that off the list. He doesn't do that. I'm like, okay, so where are we going with this? All right, so eventually the Soul People, I think it was the Soul People, right? The name was the Soul, whatever. So of course there's this great war happening, and there's one group of people that worship, I guess, the sun or something like that. Again, I haven't seen this in so long. I'm just going by memory, right? So I don't remember everything. So they crash land, and I guess somehow they're trying to figure out where these androids are when they found out the androids exist with the kids, whatever. So they go on this trek, they find this alien stone, which they never really explained what this alien stone was. Like, they bumped into this alien stone with holes in it, and I don't know, that was so stupid. I have no idea what this stupid stone was about. So anyway, they find the village, right? They take over, and somehow they how should I say, they take control of Father. They program him, and he becomes this mindless automaton, right? Now he's like a literal robot. He doesn't think. He just answers to whatever call by these Soul People. And and this is a little bit more detail in the story. The guy that is leading these the faithful, right, the Soul People, these group of people, he's actually not the real leader. He's actually a stowaway, right? The real leader they killed back on the planet with this partner woman of his, and they changed their face with doing something with the device, and he's now actually playing the leader of this group, and he's not really, right? And everybody's fooled. Towards the end, they find out or something like that. I think they find out. So then now he took over the camp, and now the reprogrammed Father, right? And he's this mindless automaton. And to add to his uselessness, to his utter uselessness in this whole damn series, right? In this season, something happened. He got mad at Father, and he broke off. The guy broke off his fingers. Broke off his finger. He got totally fed up with Father, and he was like, you know what? Screw you, go someplace else. I'm so annoyed with you, I'm just gonna break off your fingers and throw it on the table. Yeah, that's how utterly useless you are. I'm like, what? Wait a second. What? This dude? Wait a second. You're an android that's supposed to be strong and powerful, but yet at the same time you're so fragile because the dude just grabbed his hand, broke his fingers off, and tossed them on the table. I was like, oh my God. So it was, I just put my hands in my head and I was like, really, bro? So, okay, how else are you gonna play this dude? How else are you gonna play this dude? So the guy finds himself again, reprograms at a certain part of the story, and this is towards the end, a couple episodes towards the end of this season, the first season. He regains his memory. He, finds this child, the main child, excuse me, I kind of pulled on my microphone. The main child that they're kind of taking care of is, oh man, let me see if I can find it. It's Hunter. No, that's not the kid. Let me see if I can find the kid. Campion. That's the kid that, like, the main kid that they take care of. His name is Campion. The actor's name is Winter McGrath. So he's Campion, and they find other children. There's like 7, 8, 10, 12 children, I don't know, in the academy. So now he regains his memory, and he's father once again, right? Not the mindless automaton. So towards the end, right, Mother is trying to figure out, okay, what's happening here? There's a purpose. She's about to have this baby, and these things is happening, right? So there are these creatures that are on the planet that they were killing throughout the series, and like, okay, they're aliens, of course, and they found out they're sentient or whatever. Father finds out they're sentient, and they're eating these animals, right? They're like, it's like finding a tiger on planet Earth, but of course, instead of the tiger killing you, kill the tiger, and you need to eat, so you're eating the tiger. So they ended up eating the aliens, and they find out these aliens are sentient or whatever. So when Mother is almost about to find out her purpose, or whatever is happening to her towards the end, she's in the woods, and she's about to, I think she's at the edge of a lake, I think, if I remember correctly, and they're shooting back and forth the scenes with Mother like in this trance-like state, or trying to figure out at the moment what's going on. She sees something, and it cuts to a scene where you see these aliens running through the forest towards her, and it goes back and forth. So the suspense is building up. You're like, oh man, is she gonna realize that she's about to get whacked? So she's about to get done off. And then Father recognizes that, wait a second, Mother's in danger. So he's running through the forest to try to get to her. So I'm like, okay, here we go. Finally, this dude's about to have purpose, right? we're about to figure out his role. At least give him something. Give him something to do. Jesus Christ. So then at the scenes are cutting through, Mother in a trance, these aliens about to jump on her and really tear her apart. They're almost on her. Back to Father running through the forest. He's almost there. And what happens? Mother snaps out of her trance. She becomes, and she kicks ass, tears them apart. And I'm like, and then that's when Father comes in, like he's just too late. But he didn't really need him because Mother was good anyway. She was good anyway, and mind you, she didn't have her powers because in somehow, I think if memory serves me well, there's a necklace that she uses to turn into the battle droid, right? So she lost the necklace, the ability, the device to turn her into the battle droid. So she's just regular Mother, but she's still a formidable opponent. So he walks in, right? Runs in rather, and then he's totally useless because she was all right. She kicked ass. It was like 2 or 3 aliens. She killed all of them, and then all of a sudden it goes into, they jump into the ship, something like that, go through the planet, the core of the planet to the other side. It was right? And she goes into a cave at some point. She's about to have this baby. She's like 8, 9 months pregnant, and that's the wild part about it because she's like fully pregnant, and she still kicked ass, right? All good, right? More power to the people, power to the women people. She has the baby, right? And it's not a baby, it's like this floating, flying eel with, teeth at the end, and the eel is evil and is trying to kill her. She's trying to run away. She's with Father. They jump back in the ship, go through the core, through the planet to escape the eel. The eel can also deal with the heat and the pressure of going through the planet. They end up on the other side or wherever they end up. And now it's like, I forgot the end. That's pretty much what happened. I'm like, yeah, right. They ran away because the ship crashed, and the eel comes out unscathed, right? And he's on chase, if I remember correctly. And that is essentially where we left off with Raised by Wolves. And I was like, this character, Father, is useless. He's useless. So useless, they wrote it into his freaking dialogue. He actually had a talk with Mother and was like, so what am I to you? And if I really can't serve a purpose, why am I here? Like, he was having this all-out blubbering fest with Mother on where he is in all this thing. Yeah, man, that's trash. It was super trash. Anyway, I'm not looking at season 2, but I'm gonna see it. Ray says that there's 2 great parts that they give him in the show. Oh my God, let me see. I will check it out. I'm gonna be dead ass honest with the whole thing. And it's just not Father. Like I said, it was some other things that I wasn't too crazy about. Yeah, whatever. So that's it. When it comes out, I'll watch it. So the other great movie that I did see this one, and I remember recently, Ozark. Ozark is new. Oh man, people, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, so don't worry about this one because it's brand new. It just came out. But yo, shout out to the whole cast on doing a bang up, and to the writers, everything. This. Fantastic, man. Ozark, it's just the last season. I think it's the fourth, It's the last season. They have to close out these storylines. I'm sure they're going to leave it open at some point to continue it, probably into the movies or something. But I tell you, Ozark was great. I slept on Ozark. I thought it was like, Jason Bateman. No disrespect to Jason Bateman, but I was like, can he carry a lead in this? Sure enough, he can. He did a bang up job, and everybody did. From even the last season, you like with Wendy and you be like, and I'm not gonna give up certain things. If you still haven't seen Ozark, I'm not gonna give up anything from the first, second, third season, whatever it is. But everybody surprised me. So it was definitely a pleasure to watch the first part of the last season. They got 3 more episodes to go, if I'm correct, to really close this out. And I was super, I loved it. However, there's one thing that I did not like, and I'll say it. I'm gonna say it. Let me think for a second. And this is the only spoiler alert that I'm gonna give. Not anything to do with the plot, but I'm going to tell you a specific character and how it relates to how I feel about Father in Raised by Wolves. FBI agent Maya Miller. Everybody knows FBI agent Maya Miller. She's the black woman that was put out there by the FBI to basically put a smash on the cartel, on the Navarro cartel, and of course, Jason Bateman or Marty and Wendy being the faces of it in Ozark. So, she had a great part. And if you saw the last season, so I'm not giving away anything. So the whole series is dope. The whole thing. No problems. However, FBI agent Maya Miller had a baby. She was pregnant in the last one. Now in this season, she gave birth. So all through this whole story as it's being played out, she keeps on coming into, and then they have some scenes where she's at home with their kid. I forgot the name of the baby. I think the baby's name, I forgot the name. Well, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So I'm like, wait a second. Where's the father? What? Where is the father? Where's the father? Where is Mr. Miller? Where is he? Right? Because there are scenes where you see the mother, of course. It's, I don't think she ever says mother. If I miss it, whatever. But that's the mother, right? Because she goes over the house. She holds the baby. Whatever. When she's leaving, of course you see that's mother. If I missed it, that she said, hey, mom, whatever. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. But I know that's the mother. So the mother is there taking care of this kid. Where the hell is the father? Why was it written for her not to be married? Why in God's name is it written for her not to have the father in the goddamn series? And as an African American, I should say that a lot of times we can see film. We always had issues with Hollywood and how they treated black characters. We know. I don't have to go over the whole thing from the blaxploitation period to probably the magical Negro back in the 1920s when he did that goddamn corny ass. I forgot the name of the movie. Anyway, to now, it's always played itself out, right? So now we've kind of challenged those images, those characters, those broken characters, how they kind of flaunted in movies, and we don't really see that anymore. So that's super dope. That's cool. We have other solid characters that are in the movies, in the small screen and the big screen, but every now and then it kind of like peaks. Not to say that there's not any single mothers, but I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, it's always the first. It always plays itself where when we're being introduced to new characters in a movie or a TV series, certain things continuously kind of come into play when it comes to creating the stories with black characters. And with Maya Miller, I don't understand why she doesn't have the husband, father in this joint. I mean, they never really talk about it. They don't mention it. They don't say his name. They don't say he's dead. They don't say he's gone to work. They don't say anything. So if you're not really paying attention, you're enraptured by the Ozark story. It's gonna go over your head, right? It's gonna go over your head. But me, my eyes a little bit more like, I'm looking for it, and I'm like, what? And they don't say it. And you could go through the whole season, and they never mention it. Never mention it, but the imagery is there. The imagery is there, and I was like, "What is the deal? What is happening?"
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's not just an Ozark. It's played in recent movies. The Harriet movie with the bigger, long character. Okay, so that never really existed in the Harriet Tubman story, her life story. Everybody knows Harriet Tubman. So they put in this character called Bigger Long. Oh my God, isn't it so obvious how reckless they are with naming these characters as a play? Oh my God. Oh, so he never existed. He was a bounty hunter that was going after. And then I don't give a fuck if I'm spoiling this or not. And then the slave master gets some sort of. I didn't even see Harriet, because I was hearing so many stories on it. They were trashing it. I was like, I'm not even wasting my time with that movie. Here he comes. We have an opportunity to do a story on a real life historical figure of this woman that saved an African woman that saved other African slaves and went and created the Underground Railroad along with some other abolitionists and African slaves. And they pushed through up north, right into Canada. It was a fantastic story to be told in the right way. And what do they do when you have the very first opportunity to really do a Harriet Tubman story, and they just want to just butcher the whole damn thing, right? And this bigger, long character, I'm like, oh my God. The slave master, if I'm correct, because I didn't really give a fuck about memorizing the details, he ends up, the slave master catches up to the bounty hunter, the black bounty hunter, and ends up shooting him. So essentially saving Harriet Tubman. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Anyway, so you have this happening with, I'm sorry, folks. Let me fix my mic here, because I'm having some issues with my mic. I'm getting some static that's coming through. You guys probably don't hear it, but people that deal with audio are probably aware of this problem and can hear it if you really listen to it. I like this. I'm going to tell you the truth. I like this arm, but I'm having difficulty in keeping the mic set up the way it should be set up. I'm going to try something differently. So we're going through this real time, people. And then for some reason, the static's coming through and it's killing me, man. It's killing me. This thing won't. Let me see if I can change it this way. I'm sorry. Stick with me, guys. It won't. It won't stay up. It just the nut won't stay up. I have to. Oh man, it pains me that I'm probably gonna have to get another. And they said this was the better arm. This is a what I think this is a Rode mic arm, and they said this is the best one right on the market. All right. Now I don't hear the static anymore. That's super crazy. I shifted it instead of it pointing down. Now the mic is pointing up facing me. So we're going to see how this goes. I don't hear the static anymore. All right. Where was I? Let me see here. Let me just bring this out a little bit more. All right. So they did that with the Harriet thing. And I'm like, huh, what? And then the Madam C.J. Walker story that was on Netflix. I mean, I saw a little bit of that, but I was kind of disturbed about it because Madam C.J. Walker's daughter, like they had her in there, Madam C.J. Walker's daughter. And I'm like, wait a second. Let me see if I can bring her name up here. C.J. All right. Let me press this. Okay. Alelia Walker. Right. So they made her lesbian. I'm like, wait a second. I don't remember from reading up on Madam C.J. Walker's story that her daughter was lesbian. So, yeah, she's not. No, she's not. She was married 3 times. So my thing is,
Why would they do that? If they're telling a real story about Madam C.J. Walker, okay? If they're telling a real story of Madam C.J. Walker, she was born in 1867, died in 1919. She was the first black woman millionaire based on the hair care products that she created. She went all over the world. She was a business. So it is a great story to tell, especially in the time back in those days, right? You know, coming off of still dealing with the overt crazy racism and, you know, the first generation outside of slavery, right? So they talking about her story, and then they introduced her daughter in this Netflix film on Madam C.J. Walker. I really didn't like the story because and then it was interspersed with like I forgot the actress who played Madam C.J. Walker on Netflix, but they had her boxing like in between the piece. Octavia Spencer, right? They had her doing these boxing pieces, I guess, to be symbolic of the fight that she had to do in society. And, you know, she's going to take her lumps, but yet she's going to come out the winner. Whatever. It was terrible. But then, yeah, they made the daughter look. That's not real. That turned me off. I'm like, you don't have to do that. You know, if it's real and it's said and it was very public and, you know, okay, fine, whatever, right? But you don't have to do that. You don't. And then the other story with the John Brown story. The John Brown story, and they had they pulled it from this book. They had John Brown. Everybody knows he was the abolitionist that led a lot of the slaves to turn over these slave masters' plantations, and he was a crazy white man for thinking he could free some slaves. He ended up, of course, getting killed, executed. But he did what he did as an abolitionist, and they had it in the story in the Netflix where there was a boy that he found that was. That he mistaken for a girl, and they gave him a dress, and they put the dress on the little boy, and all through the film this boy is wearing this dress, right? So I'm like, what, is this accurate? No, it's not accurate. It actually came from a story, The Good Lord Bird, authored by James McBride, and that was, I think it was satire, if I'm correct. And they put him in this book, and you know, it got awards and everything like that. And they called him Little Onion because the boy liked eating this particular type of rancid onion. They call him Little Onion, I think, if I'm correct. But they used that book to kind of, you know, make the John Brown story on Netflix. And I'm like, wait a second, but okay. I was like, okay, whatever. It is what it is, right? But again, if it's a one-time thing, you get it. If it's a two-time, and I'm not going to gloss over this. A lot of the LGBTQ community that's listening to this right now, I'm not knocking people being who they are, but all I'm saying is let's be accurate historically. If it did not exist, you do not have to insert this particular character into the story because it doesn't serve a purpose. It does, and I don't understand it. If it's real and it actually happened, so be it. But you don't have to insert it. And mind you, this is my personal feeling. A lot of people are going to hate me for that. Mind you, a lot of times, in total respect of the LGBTQ community, a lot of times the greater society is as how it is. They still use the LGBTQ community as kind of how should I put it like this? As snickering, backhanded compliments when they insert them in stories in the ways. What do I mean by that? Because you'll never have people challenge it because it's kind of like a social justice issue to get behind. So you expect everybody to be for it. But what if you made, say, for instance, Martin Luther King gay? Everybody's going to say everybody knows that Martin Luther King wasn't gay, right? Everybody knew. No, he's not gay. But you would say, or you can input it in Martin Luther King that he had gay tendencies. No, he wasn't. Let's be accurate in the history. So what are you trying to get at? And a lot of times the greater society trying to shoehorns in these stories or these issues. So the initial reaction is to not say anything because you don't want to badger and denigrate a specific community that's been disenfranchised, right? So you don't say anything, even though you have an issue with this particular story in this movie. The initial thought is like, oh man, I don't want to say this is a hot button issue. I don't want to say anything about it. I'm not going to actually. Well, it could have been possible. Okay, I won't because I might get canceled, whatever. I'm not saying anything about the LGBTQ community, but what I'm saying is being historically accurate. And the way they position certain stories by using LGBTQ issues, sometimes it's a backhanded slap saying, and from their side, it's like, okay, you're not going to say anything because I know, because this is one of those issues that you wouldn't dare touch. But we know we're going to put that in there because, yeah, and as in ways as being an insult to people. Because, of course, in a greater society, a man wearing a dress, because it's still well in life today, is being treated as someone that is less of a man. Let's be honest. That's how they see it. That's how they portray it. That's how they present it. You wear a dress. Men being saying, oh, don't be such a little girl. All these words that we use is used to lessen the manlyhood of men or making them seem weaker. So when they put them in those positions, that's the message that's being brought across. Of course, you're going to have people that support LGBTQ issues. They're going to say, oh, that's not what it means. We understand that. We get that when we look at it from a big picture. But yet at the same time, we still have these images that's presented using that original thought process. So a lot of people may insert these things into movies or whatever mediums, expecting people to push back against it, and they won't because you don't want to say anything because you might get canceled. But then at the same time, you're like, wait a second, why? We're talking about a John Brown story and this kid's walking around in a dress. That's not really historically accurate. So if you're putting this in, why are you actually saying this? What are you trying to say? That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying take the time to look at it and sit back and analyze it. It's the same thing with the Bigelow character. Wait a second, he didn't exist in the Harriet Tubman's. What are you trying to get at? Understand what I'm saying? So, when you see this consistently over and over and over again, it starts to paint a picture like, whoa. So it's the same thing with blaxploitation, seeing black folks as pimps and prostitutes and people in the lower areas of society. And this is your character. This is who you are. And that's how it's being presented to American audience. But we all know that's not true. That's not who black people are. But you're going to say that there's no pimps. I don't know. Of course we're going to say there's pimps in the hood. But when you consistently play out these characters in front of us, that's all people are going to see is what black people are. Prostitutes and pimps and drug dealers and rapists and all these other things. It's the play on cinema. And it goes back way back in the day from that first big blockbuster film that was played for the president. What was that movie? My God, what's the name of that black and white film? Racist film played for the president. Let me see if I could get this. The Birth of a Nation. That's what it is. The Birth of a Nation. All right. So we know there were stereotypes and black people being lazy and eating watermelon, and all they want to do is rape white women. So if you see that imagery played out again and again and today, you're going to start thinking, okay, wait a second, that's what black males are. So it's in the same way where we're following down that same freaking how should I say it? The methods when they present black figures or black characters on film. And when you see consistently that women don't have fathers, that their women are being raped and they're doing all these other things, that's how people are going to start seeing a group of people. And it happens. Like for instance, I was talking to my nephew about Power. Right. So, you have that little kid, Tariq, right? Little kid Tariq, he's a little bastard. And he told stories how he's walking about, minding his business. The actor, what's the kid's name? The kid's name. Let me see. Tariq Power. Movie cast.
Let's see. So okay, Michael Rainey Jr. Right. So he told a story where he's just playing a character. He's walking about, and then all of a sudden there are people getting at him like he's Tariq. I'm like, no, that's a character. That's when you playing the hell out of a particular character. There are people that's going to believe that. So in that same instance, if you have people believe that Michael Rainey Jr. is this guy Tariq and he's going about his business, and people actually want to knock him over the head, imagine what it is when you paint a whole group of people consistently in the same light. They're always pimps, they're always hoes, they're always like this. In this sense, they have no fathers, they like this, they're weak. Now, D.L. Hughley actually said, he said it in one of his talks, I think on his radio show, actually when he was also being interviewed. He says the most dangerous place for black people to live is in white people's imaginations. And that's so true when you look at it, right? He's like, the most dangerous place for black people to live in is white people's imaginations. And ain't Hollywood a literal playground of the white imagination, right? And because when the power is in their hands, when the money's in their hands, and these films get green lit, they have control on how these images are going to be presented. They have control how these characters are going to be played out in front of everyone, whether it's Netflix or whether it's coming from a major movie studio. So, black people a little bit more keen, a little bit, how should I say, we have our eye on the ball when it comes to how black characters are presented in movies. So I saw that. I see it playing out in Raised by Wolves. I saw that in Ozark, which I still believe is super. I love it. I see that played out in Harriet and all these other places, and also one more film that I want to throw in there. I see how it's played out in The Walking Dead. I love The Walking Dead, but the characters, the black male characters, are super weak. The only one that really started to kind of did a 180 was the priest. Right, but all the other black characters, like, they had no backstory. They were weak plot devices, kind of like they was just there. There was nothing to them. And then they eat because you knew if that's the case, they were going to be dead in a couple episodes, about 2 episodes. So I'm like, I was like, yeah, okay, I love the The Walking Dead, but damn, these black characters is mad lame. There's none. It's not. I could go through the whole cast. I'd be like, yo, he was boss. He's boss. Loved his character. And then when you get to some of these black characters, I'm like, oh my God. Anyway. Yeah. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about was Fanbase, man. Fanbase has been going on for a while. Fanbase is kind of like a TikTok pretty much. So we have Isaac Hayes III. That's Isaac Hayes. I believe he's the Isaac Hayes III is the son, not the grandson. Yeah, he's the son of Isaac Hayes. Everybody knows Isaac Hayes, especially when I mentioned blaxploitation. He did a lot of the soundtrack for the blaxploitation films at the time. So Fanbase is on. It's gathering its momentum. I'm pretty much set up. I encourage everybody to set up. And then we kind of have similar things, similar ideas as far as our mission statement, but it's all good. Whoever gets out the gate, whoever does it, and with the success of Fanbase, it can actually bleed over and influence folks to kind of invest in Lyfeblood. So it's all good. But recently I was in a room, because they have rooms set up where people could talk to each other, and it was presented where, as a title of the room was that comedian Godfrey was shitting on Fanbase. So they said that it was on Isaac Hayes, the third guy that got caught wind of it and posted some of the video on his joint, on his profile, and he was pretty much saying, yo, just when you just chilling and not doing nothing, here you go, you got somebody who's tearing you down. So what did Godfrey say, comedian Godfrey say? And I will share it and I'll play it right here on this show. All right, so that was it, right? So it was comedian Godfrey. Amanda Seales was talking about, just because it's created by black people don't mean it's going to be special. And then comedian Godfrey backed it up with, yeah, I was trying to get on Fanbase, and that's a shit platform. I was trying to ask Isaac Hayes, he's more busy trying to get on live, and I don't know what he doing. And then of course Amanda C is gonna give her feedback, and I'm like, yo, how did the crabs in the barrel? And then of course Isaac is gonna share on his platform, right? He's gonna show people, hey, listen, check this out, right?
I actually have a DM that I reached out to comedian Godfrey saying, hey man, you got an issue, holla at me, I'll give you my number, I'll let you do it. It's the same thing as posting. Listen, I'm on Fanbase and I signed up. I had no problems going through it. It's no different. It's not rocket science, man. You set up your profile and you start posting pictures. Everything else, of course, you're gonna need a little help. That's fine. All the well and good. But for comedian Godfrey, and I like comedian Godfrey, I really like this dude and who he is. As far as his supporting black folks, him as a black comedian, all the struggles and successes that he has as a comedian and where he's at. I don't understand why he was getting that, saying such divisive, just craziness that he was talking about with a man of seals. And I'm like, yo, bro, how come you ain't reach out to Isaac if you had a problem? I would have rather comedian Godfrey say, you know what, I had some prior beef with Isaac. We ain't really gel from a past situation. I ain't got to go in detail about it, but I ain't really rocking with Fanbase. I would have respected that. I'm like, fine. But don't trash a black founder trying to make his moves within this market. When you especially when we know it, it's a conversation that's been had day in and day out that black content creators are not getting the attention or the money that they should be getting on IG or TikTok or any other places, to the point where you had black TikTok dancers literally shut down their profiles, put their joints on pause. I'm like, yo, I ain't doing no more dances. Y'all gonna cut us a check or something. You gonna do something. I mean, you've seen it time and time and again. So if you understand this, Godfrey, why are you saying this? If you do not dig, and then I'm talking with people on the Fanbase platform, they say, yo, Godfrey just came out of IG suspension, IG jail, and he talking crazy. I'm like, what? And he just came out? I don't understand why my man is getting at Isaac like that. If you got an issue, reach out to him, man. Why you got to put on this show to say that we don't need that right now? All right, we understand as far as black content creators, the power of what we do, as far as the dances that we create and all the other content that we share through music and sports and all these other things. And if there is a problem that IG is not supporting that, or we're getting shadow banned, that I have myself been shadow banned. My feature was taken away myself when I was reaching out to a million impressions, and they shut me down. Understanding that, we know it's necessary to build other platforms. We're going to take our magic and we're going to put it on there. If we made IG, if we made Clubhouse and gave them the energy in all these places, it's time to put it into black founders where people can be properly compensated for the work that they do. If you understand this, why are you knocking it, man? I don't understand why Godfrey was getting like that. And then Amanda Seals is co-signing. Come on, not with the following that you have, Godfrey. Not with what you got, man. You shouldn't be doing that. Matter of fact, why don't you create your own joint, or you get with somebody that has a platform and maybe you could do something better. But don't knock it if you're not going to get into it. That don't do nothing. We're trying to build institutions here based on what's going on. The same thing where you have institutions like ABC, NBC, Facebook, Reddit, and all these other things that are considered in Chase Manhattan Bank. All of these businesses are institutions in America. And that's what black people are trying to do, saying, okay, we're not getting a fair shake here. Now it's time for us to build our own institution. Well, you could go to places like that. What Isaac Hayes is trying to build with Fanbase, what I'm trying to build with Lyfeblood, and what a lot of other people are trying to do. And I'm going to post that on and you're probably going to see that post by the time this comes out. But yeah, come on, man. If you ain't got nothing to say, don't say nothing at all, my dude. Don't say nothing at all. There's too many opportunities. There's too many channels. You got DM, you got tweeting, you got phone numbers, you got text, you got all these other ways where you could get in touch with people if there's something that's not quite gelling. But you ain't got to tear down a brother, man. So I want to see actually some. Let's make this up here, man. Let's get this right. And I saw what the response that you gave to Isaac Hayes, talking about you're not the leader of black people, the black community, blah blah. Man, ain't nobody saying that. But we're trying to make a way and build a platform, a space for African American people, trying to do that, to give them a fair shake where they can be properly represented and paid for. And here it is, you throwing in negative commentary just to drag it on down. Come on, man. Especially with Amanda. If you woke, if Godfrey, you woke, Amanda, you woke. This ain't woke behavior. This ain't got nothing to do with wokeness. So please, let's be nice. Let's be cordial. Let's go about our business. You don't want to jump off of IG and they keep banning you, that's your business. But don't knock the brother from trying to do something for the rest of the millions of black people in this country and for others around the world. But, it looks like hating, to be honest. It looks like hating. You hating right now, you hating. All right, he's doing something that you're not doing all the time. I don't want to do that. Right? Yeah, man, that's bad business. That's bad business. Anyway, so the next thing is this Ukraine-Russia conflict. I've kind of seeing it a little bit here and there. I don't understand this Ukraine-Russia conflict. I'm not totally privy to all the details of what's going on with international issues and conflicts, but I can pretty much say, I'm reading up in, these various articles, and they're saying, Russia is trying to get tens of thousands of troops at the border. They're trying to set up, and U.S. Congress is developing Russian sanctions to punish the country for its recent threatening activities. You have Jens Stoltenberg. He's the head of NATO military alliance, and he's saying, quote, no plans to deploy NATO combat troops to Ukraine. They're trying to work out a political solution to halt this movement against Ukraine. It's amazing. You also have France and the UK throwing their own words on giving military support. Even Biden said he's going to send troops over to the Ukrainian border if this aggression is ramped up by Russia. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Actually, the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr, I think is Volodymyr. Let's say Volodymyr. My bad if I'm butchering this. The president's name, the Ukraine president's name, Volodymyr Zelensky. He's saying satellite images were not enough evidence to suggest that Russia's military buildup is happening. So he continues that Russia hasn't escalated their position beyond what they did last spring. Everything is A-okay. Everything is good. Understand? The Ukrainian president is trying to de-escalate this situation. He's not screaming for U.S. support. He's just saying, yo, calm down. What's going on here? So I don't get it how we pulled out of Afghanistan. That was a big clusterfuck in a lot of different ways. And we're trying to settle into straightening out the problems that we have here in America, right here. From student loan debt, racism, CRT that's being battled, which I think that's kind of a distraction anyway. Everybody knows this happened in Florida. Them trying to pass a bill to, I don't know, prosecute or something, or force a teacher or school not to teach history. And that's crazy. And they had a brother on there talking. It was an 8-minute video that was shared on social media, and he was kind of like rebuttaling to the other politicians in the room. I guess they were council members of that particular county and town. And he was saying his piece, and he kind of lost me. He started blubbering and crying. I'm like, stop it, bro. Stop it. No, those people that on the other side of the line, your enemies, they don't care about you blubbering. They have no moral standing. You're not going to appeal to their humanity. Okay. So when you cry, they're just staring at you with a blank face like, okay, well, all right. So, but it was an 8-minute video. It was pretty good. But anyway, we're trying to deal with all these things that's happening, right? Voting rights, the COVID pandemic, with Omicron that's flying around all over the place and people wearing their masks and people not. I mean, we have so many things that need to be straightened out. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Russia is running to the Ukrainian border, and now the United States that just recently pulled their asses out of Afghanistan wants to go right to Ukraine. Amazing. Now we're threatening another conflict, getting to. And I said it was someone who was shared by Reuters, on Twitter, and I was like, the business of war. That was a simple tweet. The business of war. But of course, without an enemy, you can't get any money to make your next weapons. And I get it, military technology, you want to be at the head of the game, because if you slack too much, all of a sudden your enemy's going to come out with a weapon that could wipe you off the map. You never want to be in that position. I understand, global politics is in terms of that. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, a second, we got enough problems over here already. And that was the whole reason why even Republicans were saying, why are we over there in Afghanistan again? All right. To the point Biden was like, okay, we got to pull down. So now all of a sudden, this is just rearing its ugly head saying, okay, we got to go over there next. I'm like, yo, oh my God, what is going on here? Why are we getting into and usually when it comes to war, you always have to say who benefits from this, who's going to take a major L, what contractor is going to be involved with this, who's going to be on the ground, what politicians are going to try to get points and try to get another X amount, I don't know, years from his constituency. So I always think of it, even if I don't know the details of what's happening across the world, I try to at least see the players in the game. Okay, who's going on? Is Turkey involved? France, okay, UK, Ukrainian president saying, no, we don't need nobody here. We good. President Putin come out of nowhere dropping soldiers over there, setting up bases from the satellite imagery, I said, but the Ukrainian president doesn't even want it now. Okay, all right. So we pulled out of Afghanistan and we drew it down to the last bit and we're out of there. And okay, it's pretty quiet on the war front. War has changed too, man. It's not just the conventional wars. Wars is moving into economics. Okay, all right. Why are we playing the same game here? We're going back to missiles, bullets, and soldiers. I don't know what's going on. Okay, who stands? So I always try to think it from that point of view and why we're in the current conflict that we're in now. And it sounds like a lot of this can be drummed up. I'm allegedly drummed up. Allegedly, this whole thing is going on with the war. So it makes me think, and I'll keep my eye on it and seeing it, but it's just my 2 cents of what I feel about this whole Ukraine-Russia conflict thing. It's crazy. The next thing is Microsoft. Microsoft is planning to buy. Matter of fact, they bought ZeniMax, and now they're on the way to buying Activision Blizzard. They're saying it's going to be a great addition to Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass, but it's kind of Sony. They're kind of worried about how this is going to play out with Sony because Sony is pretty much a Sony product, I guess. It's on Xbox. I checked. It's on Xbox and Sony, but this particular company, Activision Blizzard, has a deal with Sony to put out more games, Call of Duty games, and it's one of the most popular and profitable games in the gaming world. Phil Spencer, the Microsoft gaming division CEO, he said that he's gonna stay true and honor the contract when dealing with Sony reps, and even though this whole thing is going to expire as far as ownership of the property, Call of Duty, when the acquisition finally goes through in 2023, if I'm correct, and the latest Call of Duty is going to come under Activision Blizzard. It's going to be Call of Duty Warzone. So, that's business, man. That's how it goes. So it's just interesting how things just change hands and companies buys companies. So, I mean, hey, man, we'll see how it plays out. You never know. So, but, that's dope. The other big thing, man, I think the last thing I'll say is this whole thing with Cardi B and Tasha K. Everybody knows who Tasha K is. She has her YouTube channel where she, I think Tasha K sipping wine with Tasha K. Something well, she sips wine. She talks about the drama in the entertainment business, yada, yada, yada. But let me tell you, so I didn't know it was going down, but Tasha K got smacked with a defamation lawsuit. She lost the defamation lawsuit that Cardi B brought to her. I mean, Tasha K was saying some wild stuff. I didn't even know. I peep it every now and then. I tune in. But she had allegedly, well, not allegedly, because she was saying that Cardi was a prostitute. She had herpes. She actually used a beer bottle as a sex toy. I got other people around me, kids. I don't want to start asking questions. I'm just, I got little kids around me. So, you understand what I'm saying? So, it got into craziness. So Cardi won. So $3 million payout to Cardi, and that's broken up $1.5 million in punitive damages, $1.3 million in litigation expenses, medical expenses. It was $250K. It got brought down to $25,000. But goddamn, hit Tasha with the business. And Tasha actually said, she put on a YouTube channel that, she was saying that, the industry, the machine is exploiting hip hop and the urban community, and this another way, did you say it or not? Did you say those wild things about Cardi? If you did say it and it's recorded, you can't really involve anybody else. And this is a learning lesson that, you could talk junk as a YouTuber or a podcaster about, you're talking about the industry, especially you have a crazy following, but you got to be mindful of what you say, man. You can't just talk recklessly about someone and them not getting at you. You got to throw in the words allegedly. Allegedly says a lot. It changes. It changes things. You ain't accusing nobody. You saying this is what I'm hearing that's going around in the streets. It may be true. It may be not true. But yeah, you gotta be careful what you're saying. And hey, man, Cardi came with the business, and I don't know how Tasha K gonna get out of this one, because that's a lot. I don't know how much she making on her show, but I tell you this, oh goddamn, she gonna have to claim bankruptcy on this one, because I don't know if she got $3 million lying around to pay people like Cardi that's going after with defamation lawsuits. That's madness. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. Last thing, man, smart guitars, man. That's a thing. I didn't even know smart guitars is a thing. Smart guitars. I saw that on I think IG or something. I didn't know that was a thing. Smart guitars. And all my musicians that are out there, who knew? Supposedly, the first smart guitar was introduced by the Census. Census, the name of the smart guitar. They call themselves the first smart guitar, and it was introduced in 2016. So I don't know how long it's been. You got the High Vibe, and you got Lava Me 3. And for people that don't know smart guitars, a smart guitar is like a regular guitar, but it has a console on it, a pad with buttons and little dials. Pretty simple, and it reproduces specific sounds that you would have to plug into your amp. Like if you want to get reverb, if you want to, the echoing of the sound from pulling that string. So on this particular guitar, on the High Vibe, you have the reverb, echo, phaser, distortion, boost, and other sound enhancing features on there. And then you can also use it as a Bluetooth. You connect the Bluetooth to the guitar. The music plays through the guitar, and you can actually play along with the song that's going on. That's crazy. I'm staring at this thing, and I'm like, how the hell does this thing? I still don't understand how they're getting reverb out of that guitar itself. It's not connected to anything. It's coming out of the guitar itself. That's amazing. That's amazing. And people are, I don't know how famous smart guitars are. Are musicians actually using smart guitar? Supposedly, I saw a real good review on the High Vibe smart guitar, and the guy said he liked it. I don't know. He says he wasn't getting paid, but who knows how these things go. You have companies that'll pay a musician with an influencer, let's say, on YouTube, and don't say that we pay you. Of course, they're not going to say that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. You would probably really have to, trust the influencer that you follow to give a real good objective assessment on products, new products and technologies. I don't know how well this is. He did say it's not that great when you plug it into an amp when you're actually recording. Sounds great when you're doing live, strumming the guitar in front of people, but not so great when it comes to recording. So it is what it is. Let's see what happens with this. All right, folks, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for listening to me. I'm your host, Nova Phoenix, on GCOM Radio, also the founder of Lyfeblood.com. I have some things happening. Oh, there's one last thing. I know, one last thing. So I changed my whole strategy on the event. I know I want to do the event, but, I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm speaking with people, and it's just that this whole Omicron thing killed it. I was actually told early on by my wife, maybe you shouldn't do it right now. And I was like, knucklehead me. I was like, nah, we good. And here it is, go Omicron come. So, I'm trying to play it by ear and see what's happening. So I was thinking of doing it on a virtual level. How well that's going to play out, I'm not so sure. I'm still kind of brainstorming on this thing right now. Maybe we could do it in like springtime, summer. But I'm also handling the VC thing, and I have a couple of leads again with that. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe let me get those leads. Let me solidify those leads, and something comes through. It could definitely be a springboard thing into the event to introduce the people to the next stage of Lyfeblood. So we'll see how it plays out. It sucks, man. I was really trying to go hard, and it can still be virtual. I don't know. I'm still the jury's still out on that one. To see how I'm gonna go. We'll see. I'm still reaching out to people and seeing how it could be done, and as long as it's successful and people tune in, I'm with it. But anyway, guys, thank you for listening. I'm gonna get out of here, and next week is another time to chat with you guys. Please do me a favor, just sign up for Lyfeblood, be a user. Let me get the email. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, even though I don't really use Instagram like that. Hey, follow me on Fanbase as well, man. Sign up for Fanbase. It's even though we're trying to give an opportunity, or let's say Isaac wants to give an opportunity to Black content creators. I know it's just not simply for the African American community, it's for everyone. So I'm going to be there. You'll see me there, and I'm thinking about also doing a Twitter space as well. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I think it would be dope just to kind of stretch out and do something different on Twitter. And I can do it on Twitter. I just have to figure out and promote it really well. All right, guys. Again, I'm out of here. Thank you for listening to me. I'll see you and I'll talk to you guys next week. All right, I'm out of here. Peace.
Yo, check it.
You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com for the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go-round. From right here to your town, we out.